Hello, everybody. Welcome to a reaction video. We got more stuff from what would you say this is? The fallout of the election, kind of, maybe.
Basically, that's what
This
it
time
seems
it's
like to
about
me.
one person in particular that wasn't involved in
Holy
the
shit. Well, I mean,
in the race.
we're actually going like in the middle or something rather than like, sorry.
Well, I don't know if we're in the middle with the topic of the person we're going at talking about today, but it's at least not one of the people in the race.
Well, it's the
I mean,
media, it's the news media, it's central. It's totally in the middle. It's exactly where it needs to be.
yeah. Anyway, my name is Kai. This is Makai over there. We're just trying to take in all the bullshit that's going on in the world today and try to make sense out of it. And we're not having a whole good time with that. I've had a lot of headaches over the past few days with this stuff. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I mean,
And
I
I
think the
live
whole
here.
world is having like headaches over everything right now. Personally, anyways.
To put it mildly.
Yep.
Um, anyway, though, this one is supposedly about some shit that Whoopi Goldberg's been getting into with uh, potential problems with her opinions again.
Interesting.
It's not a
So,
foreign concept for her, actually.
should I take a wild guess and assume she's a massive leftist? Or like,
From everything I've ever heard and understood, she's a leftist to the point of thinking that men are not necessary or needed for anything. And I do
oh, I
mean
see. Yeah, I
she's
gotcha.
on that side.
Okay, makes
Well,
sense.
we might not be needed for a lot, but there's a handful of things that we are required for in this world still.
Yep, that's birthrights mostly, but still. Until they learn to clone like humans, then maybe.
Then no one's needed. No one's needed after that.
No, nope, no one's needed after that, but still. Anyways, should we start
Let's
there?
move on. How about it?
Should we
Yeah, yeah.
see where
We
this is going? Okay,
we
let's go.
wasted enough time with these people, and let's get to the meat of the matter here.
The
Piece
place
of
that
the.
made these
So,
refused to make them for me.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What? Oh,
No. Let me explain. They said that their ovens had gone down, all kinds of stuff, but folks went and got them anyway, which is why I'm not telling you who made them. But can't be because I'm a woman, but perhaps they did not like my politics.
yeah. And I know how hard.
um, that started in the middle of a clip, man. Do you want to explain that one to me?
Well, what had happened was it was her birthday deal, and she was going to go get a specific type of cake that from what I understand, her mother liked a lot. This
Yeah,
specific kind from a particular bakery. That if people put one and two together, even if she doesn't say the name of it, they know where she went.
yeah,
Everything she said where she went without saying where she went.
gotcha.
And they had equipment issues
Okay,
to where they couldn't make them fresh.
yeah,
And when her same people went and got them anyway, I'm assuming they may have had some that were, maybe made that were still okay from, stuff like that lasts for a little bit. There's a shelf
hmm,
life to that.
yeah,
So, and she may have wanted one freshly made, and they couldn't do that. And she might think that the people that went and got them, they baked them for them, but they wouldn't bake them for her, and not because she's a woman, but because she's the Democrat that supports Kamala Harris.
I
Uh,
mean, as like a business, like if your oven is down or you can't cook something, or guess what, you ain't getting any fucking cake. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you're Whoopi Goldberg or the president or I don't know, some random dude on the street. Like a
now
blown oven doesn't means like yeah. Anyways,
mhm. Now, the people on screen before you continue here, these are the people representing the bakery
oh
now
okay,
that are
yeah,
be speaking next.
okay, okay. I know exactly what's happening. Okay, okay. It's just because Whoopi started in the middle of like without explaining
Yeah,
what she like. Yeah,
that was weird. That was weird.
yeah. Anyways, let's go.
And I know how hard my family has worked to keep this business alive. My bakers come in 2 or 3 in the morning just to have donuts and rolls for everybody to come in and say, we have the best rolls ever. This is what makes Holtzman's Holtzman's. It's the community.
So if you haven't heard the story by now, Whoopi
I'm sorry. There's like you know the way she said we have like the best donuts. That was a Donald Trump reference. I swear it had to be a Donald Trump reference.
Maybe so. But now we're
But
gonna get into the news people, and they
yeah,
might actually fill in the blanks of
let's
what you.
hope so. Let's hope so. Yeah. Anyway,
This is not a vetted video, so there's no telling where this is going to go.
it's already going to insanity, man. So it can't get much worse
Oh,
than
it's
this,
got
right?
Whoopi in it. It's going to be insanity just from the onset.
Yeah, I guess. Anyways, honestly, to be fair, the only thing most of us over here know about Whoopi Goldberg is that she was in a bunch of movies that were like as kids, and that's literally like that's it, man. We don't see any of this like leftist shit that she's talking mostly. So
She's lost her mind. So.
Makes sense. Anyways.
So if you haven't heard the story by now, Whoopi Goldberg, as you can see there, learning the hard way that going after a Staten Island institution can be a recipe for controversy. Thousands of customers lined up outside Halterman's Bakery to show their support after the View co-host accused that bakery of political discrimination. Community leaders calling on her to apologize, but instead, here's the update. She appears to double down in this new video.
Oh shit, she's gonna double down. Damn, shit's gonna get fucking interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, they gave me the context. I should have waited for them to like give me the context to be fair. But...
Well, I wasn't far off. I might not have worded it the exact way they did, but it's the same basic thing.
Yeah. It's interesting watching America be America sometimes. Like it's the kind of shit that I don't get to see on my regular like TV show. So
if you call it interesting, I call it a nightmare. Why would you put this on TV?
This is like entertainment or comedy or I don't know. Like...
I mean, if we're all in this for one big ass comedy skit that none of us are aware of, then I'm all for that. But I don't believe that's where we're at.
No, me either. But I mean, like we may as well enjoy it while we got it. To be fair, like if America becomes a proper serious nation that like actually actually gets its shit together, I mean, then obviously like we'll take it more seriously. But with the way the media in America is right now, it doesn't seem that way to me. So
the media's bullshit over here. I mean, you have so many different news networks, and each one tell you different stories that are supposed to be the truth.
Yeah, I mean, the media's bullshit over here. So like, there's a lot of weird and bad shit happening. I'm not even going to try to like dress it down, but I don't know. This seems a bit. It doesn't seem newsworthy. It doesn't seem newsworthy to me, but still. Anyways.
Here's the update. She appears to double down in this new video.
There seems to be a lot of talk about the dessert I requested for my birthday show. I never mentioned the name of the bakery or the location. It does seem a little odd that when we called a few weeks before my birthday and we were told they couldn't process the order for my birthday because of an equipment failure, but somehow they were able to accept an order of a different 48 of the same dessert when somebody else called without using my name. But it's all okay, y'all, because I enjoyed my delicious dessert and I had a happy, sweet birthday.
Looks like cleanup.
I swear, like, did we go back to nursery? I'll be in like a fucking like, I don't know what you guys call nursery reception, whatever the fuck it is, man. Like, we're on a playground, right? Like, we're with like 8-year-old girls or like 6-year-old girls, or just like, you know, like wanting cake and wanting food and getting pissed at each other because they can't get cake or because they do have cake, or I don't know, man.
And the worst part about this is she's saying that someone else in her little circle called and was able to get that. That's basically, I think, what she's getting at.
Yeah, basically.
But she didn't say how much time had passed. I mean, even if it had been an hour that had passed, you know what I'm saying? What if when she called the thing was down and they they couldn't rightfully accept the order, but then in that hour's time that between calls, the maintenance crew was there and was able to get the machine operational again to where they could actually function. That is something that needs to be considered as a reality.
I mean, like, what if a business who had their oven go out, like, got somebody in to fix it, and then when they called back the second time, like, it was magically working as if, like, they were totally against Whoopi Goldberg because, you know, those maintenance men were, like, totally bigoted in that way, but, you know.
Yeah. I mean, machines can't get fixed that quick.
No.
I mean, just change the heat. You can't just change a heating element out on a boiler or something and it work, and that be the problem is why
No,
it didn't work to begin with.
you've got to take the whole heating thing out, the whole boiler out, the whole thing. Got to rip down the walls of the shop to get it out, man, and then just like rebuild the entire shop, put the thing back in, and then maybe, just maybe, it'll work. Just maybe a little bit.
Yeah. Get a shipment of coal coming in, something,
Yeah, I mean it's steam powered, right? Obviously.
Well, that's the problem. They're using coal in a steam powered thing. That's the problem. That's the whole problem.
Exactly. There we go. Sorted. Anyways, I can tell this is going to make us be sarcastic shits this whole way through. But it's necessary.
And I had a happy, sweet birthday.
Looks like cleanup on aisle 6 to me. Joining us now is Staten Island Borough President Vito Vasella. Thank you very much for being here. We saw you at that news conference. I mean, you lit the crowd up. You had people lining up outside the bakery because they feel bad for what's happened to this institution, the Staten Island institution. Welcome to...
A bakery's an institution? Since when is a bakery an institution? It's a fucking shop, mate. Anyway, so...
Well, we like to what's the word for it? We like to give things big words that don't need them over here. See, I tried to give that a big word, and it didn't need it. We like to be too fancy for our own good with our wording over here.
I mean,
and
I do kind of say that, to be fair. I mean, like, I know. Well, you guys are always bigger. Do you do everything in bigger sizes? Like food portions, like your roads are bigger, your cars are bigger, your people are bigger. Generally speaking, just.
I'm smaller than you are, so I don't know.
Yeah, but that's just because you're a skinny motherfucker. But still. Yeah, anyways.
But well, I guess over here, I mean, the concept of bigger is always better. I don't know why that's a reality. I don't know who came up with that or where it came from.
I imagine it's something to do with Vegas, to be fair. It seems like a Vegas thing to me.
It could be. It could be. That makes sense. That or Texas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, Texas alone makes, like, most of this, I would imagine. Yeah. Anyways, let's listen to what these nice people who were totally unbiased want to say.
To you, did that clear anything up, that video with Whoopi Goldberg there?
No, not at all. In my opinion, first of all, the story here is this Holterman, the family is wonderful. They're the salt of the earth. They've had a business for 146 years. Not many people can say that.
So, I will let's go. But, like, it's weird, man. Like, people say Donald Trump speaks weird, but he speaks like everybody else. Like, he speaks like this guy right here, too. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, when people, like, I've had people say that he speaks weirdly in, like, a weird manner, but he doesn't. People just want to over-exaggerate everything he does. It's very strange. So, anyways.
They've had a business for 146 years. Not many people can say that. They have an impeccable reputation. People love them and their business. And then this woman went on national television and basically misrepresented what happened. And, you know, to have a platform like that and disparage, potentially, arguably defame a business that has no recourse in the court of public opinion, and they were devastated. And what we said, we were going to stand up for those businesses, and we're not going to take the abuse. She may have had the bully pulpit, but she came across as a bully, if you ask me. And the family, not being used to this, said, you know, what do we do? So the Staten Island community stood up and stood strong and stood up for the Holterman family, the Holterman Bakery. And I commend the Holtermans for just having the grace to take the high road. And the Staten Island community stepping out, waiting online hour after hour to say we support Holtermans. But it could have been any small business. It could have been anybody who was attacked on the national airwaves for something they didn't do.
You know, as a...
I basically agree, to be fair, with what he said.
Yeah. He for once, someone in the news, in my opinion, they're not wrong in what they're saying. This could have, like he said, very easily been anyone, any small company.
Okay. It could have been Little Kenny's lemonade stand or anything, man. It could have literally been like any small business, to be fair. So
yeah,
I should say
could have easily, and any number of outcomes could happen based on where it was and who it was. And that's the worst part. I mean, it could have been very bad for these people. Have someone as popular and big as Whoopi Goldberg is to say that they wouldn't give her something based on her viewpoint. And that's clearly not the case. I mean,
I mean,
shit.
buildings have been burned down for less, I would say, to be honest, in this way. So
Yeah, they have. I mean, yeah, they might have. Now, I will say, as far as one thing that they showed in this, they may have kind of tipped it one way or another to show people with Trump hats on inside the bakery. That
yeah.
might not have been needed to be done.
But
Let's just be real.
but maybe the dude just happened to be there and he happened to have a trumpet. Maybe,
Yeah, I'm just saying
it's just happen chance, I would say. I wouldn't say that's biased in any way. So
I'm just saying using that clip.
I
So,
guess.
them using that could help Whoopi's argument that it's because of her political
Oh,
stance.
yeah. I know what you mean. Oh, because, like, obviously a lot of people would take the Trump hat as a negative thing, whereas I don't see that. Like, you know, when I see that as a dude who's made his own opinion, who is, like, valid in that opinion, because we all are valid to our opinions at the end of the day.
And over here, the long and short of it is, you wear a Trump hat, then you're definitely against Kamala, which means you're definitely against the side that Whoopi would have been on, and would be able to be argued that her point might be valid, that it was her politics and not
okay. So,
anything else.
okay, I see what you're saying. I don't know the subtleties of American politics and American media enough to understand that. So,
Yeah,
I got you.
yeah, it could be looked at in a way that suggests that because she didn't, they showed that article of clothing, that's all they have to do. For someone to say, well, yeah, Whoopi's right. They would, and it just turn off what video we're watching right now. It's like, well, there's a damn dude in a Trump hat there in the shop. Of course she's right.
But what
And
about
that's all
all
they would
those
have to
other,
say.
like, 20 people who weren't wearing Trump hats?
They don't matter.
Well, there's
Just,
20 other
just that
people
one
who,
guy. Just
but
that one guy.
I know, but there's 20 other people not wearing Trump hats. There's, like, the bakery staff were there, like, not holding, like, Wheel of Trump things, and they were literally just there being people because they are a business at the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong, but people only hear and see what they want to hear and see.
I know, that's true. But that's the bad thing. That's why information is needed sometimes. Like, you need to quantify a lot of stuff for people, but it doesn't seem to be happening. It seems to be, like you said, it's very biased. It's very subtle, but it's biased in that way. So
Yeah.
anyways, let's go.
You know, as a reporter, I step back from the story and I say, well, you know, could have something happened there that maybe we didn't see? Maybe there was somebody, this is just me just asking you, based on the facts that you have at hand, could there have been somebody behind the register who didn't like the idea that this was for Whoopi Goldberg and said, not today?
So the facts are the boiler that they had in place that they need to make the cakes was about 60 or 70 years old. They were planning on replacing it. They didn't know how long it would take to replace. So Jill Holterman actually did the right thing by telling the woman, we can't commit to it. We would hate for you to have a birthday party and the boiler would still be down. So, you know, go someplace else. And then the boiler was fixed, probably in less time than they anticipated, and then people could buy cakes again. She was not the only one that was declined.
So they send somebody else in there
after the fact.
After it was fixed.
Correct.
And so she connects the dots and says, oh, they'll serve them without my name attached to it, but they wouldn't serve me.
Yeah, and she wouldn't, you know, the old expression.
Question.
I just said this.
Question. Why is this fucking news? Why is this on fucking why is this on Fox News of all the fucking things you could be talking about?
It's on Fox News because it's Whoopi Goldberg and she has a show that is very controversial. So they're using this as a way to have something to talk about that somebody's going to be interested in.
Is somebody going to be
Because
interested
there's
in
nothing
this?
else going on.
Like, who? Like,
I guess.
how old are
Fuck.
they? Like, are they like below the age of 12? I mean, I could understand if you're below the age of 12, but I mean, like, if you're above the age of 12, I don't see how this is interesting. Like, in the slightest.
You should do a Google search at the end of this video about the credibility, or maybe one more off camera, about the credibility of Fox News, and you might understand a little bit more about why this is on Fox News and not nowhere else. But moving on.
I mean, I already know Fox News is not credible in the slightest. I know the show.
Okay, well then there you go.
Yeah, no, I totally understand, but I mean, like, in general, like, mate, if any newscasters were putting this oh man, I would want them to be shut down, man. Literally,
And they sound like they're incredibly invested in this topic too, or the way they're talking about
they
it.
really do though. She's really leaning into it. She's really passionate about this random incident that doesn't matter. But
She's concerned about them damn cakes.
They'll serve
she is. Very, very much so.
them without my name attached to it, but they wouldn't serve me.
Yeah, and she wouldn't, the old expression, she wouldn't accept the truth. And somehow it was this, perhaps a degree of self-absorption that everybody thinks of politics every day. We just heard Jill. Her and her workers are at work sometimes 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning to prepare every day. You think she really cares about politics? Her customer base or across the board, she wants to do well in business. My main concern was that this woman took to the national airwaves and sought to destroy a company.
She didn't say the name of the company, and I'm not defending her in any way, but she.
Damn. I mean, she didn't say the name of the company, but people put 2 and 2 together. People aren't stupid, so.
And I'm sure he's fixing to elaborate and basically kill that off real quick.
Yeah, but she even tried to cover her tracks, but I'm not supporting this in any specific conceivable way, and
because she can't. Even if she agrees, she can't.
I know.
Her in any way, but she didn't say it then. In her, clarification on Instagram there, that video, she also didn't say the name of the company, and she reminded people she didn't say this. So the question now is there a case of defamation as the legal?
Yo, we're going defamation?
In the proper legal format.
Defamation?
This is Jonathan Turley's take. He says why defamation suit against Whoopi Goldberg could be piece of cake. The implied accusation against the bakery could fit into a piece of category of impugning business or professional integrity. Goldberg's statement was clearly meant to impugn the reputation and professional standing of the bakery. It can be argued as defamatory per se by implication, says Jonathan Turley.
Got to respect that.
I mean, mate, if you're going to sue for defamation off of a single statement by somebody who didn't even mention your business, then I don't know.
You know how we are over here. If we know we can sue somebody for something, then that's see you next Tuesday kind of thing.
Yeah, I know. It's sad, honestly. The fact that they mentioning defamation on this case, I don't think
I don't know that she deserves that specifically, but
I don't even I don't even think there's grounds to have a fucking news article about this. I don't mean on TV. I mean a news article written about it, never mind a fucking defamation case, man. No.
This would be something you would potentially see, in my opinion, maybe in a local newspaper, just local to the area that it took place in, not necessarily something the entire country would need to know about.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of our free newspaper, where I live. We have a newspaper called The Metro. You get it on the bus every morning if you jump on the bus in the mornings. And, it's a free newspaper that you get, and it has all the local stories in it, and it has, a bunch of weird, random shit that you don't care about because it's a free newspaper. It's generally, one of those types of things, but
yeah, this definitely does. This just seems like something you would have as a isolated news thing, even just as simple as a newspaper article for the local news, not necessarily nationwide stuff that we all need to know.
But no, apparently it's defamation worthy, man. Totally,
100%. But apparently the nation needs to know that Whoopi Goldberg didn't get her piece of cake the way she wanted it.
I know it.
We need to know that.
We apparently do. I don't know why we need to know this, but then again,
because goddamn it, Whoopi Goldberg didn't get her cake. That's why we need to know it.
But then again, we live in a culture of celebrities who put their every whim thought on social media, who have millions of followers because people care, I guess. And I don't know.
No.
Anyways.
Turley.
Got to respect that opinion, and I don't think if it went before a jury that people would think differently. Although she did not mention the name, in a matter of minutes or hours, it was deduced that the company itself was Holterman's. And again, I get back to, it was a misrepresentation of what happened, and rather than give the benefit of the doubt to the business owner, she goes on national television, and by the way, the first calls that the family got were not nice calls. They were borderline threatening calls.
Wow.
And it was at that point we stepped up and said, we're not going to take this. We're not going to let this poor family suffer at the abuse of somebody who's going to seek to disparage, potentially defame, And you never know. If they didn't have a good reputation, that business could be destroyed. How is that good in this country? And it happened to be Holterman's. It happened to be on Staten Island. We happened to be there to support them. But this could have been any business, small business around the country.
And they happen to make a dynamite Charlotte Russe dessert. So I've heard. Okay, so just to move this story forward, have you talked to the family? Do they have...
Damn, not only, like, are they speaking defamation cases, not only are they saying that, she's even went there and tried one of their normies, man. That's like...
And that's the cake in question for this whole situation, by the way.
Oh, is that literally the cake? Is that like... I'm guessing that's why. But then again, if it wasn't, why would Whoopi Goldberg be shopping there to begin with? You know what I mean? If they didn't make an amazing cake, would she really be going there? Would she be going to some back alley 2-bit bakery that employs like 2 people and just like... serves its local community? Nah, I should be going to like one of the best ones, obviously. So
yeah, you go to one that's been around. I mean, like you said, 100 and what was it, 56? Something like that.
Something to that degree.
Over 100, almost over 100-year-old business that's been there for a while. They know their pastry stuff and bakery.
I would hope so. I mean, if they don't by now, there's something seriously wrong. I'm not going to look.
Yeah.
Move this story forward. Have you talked to the family? Do they have plans to file a lawsuit?
I have spoken with the family, but not about litigation. That be totally, that's in their court.
And how's business? People lining up at first.
As I say, I got to commend the people of Staten Island, but we got calls from around the country. The Holtermans did, around the world.
Around the country,
people from Europe have been weighing in, people from the Philippines, all over, to say, because they see this for what it is. They see this as an abuse by somebody on somebody who's just trying to go out and make a business. And if the Holtermans didn't have an impeccable reputation for this 146 years, who knows what it's going to be, but the people know who they are, and they step forward. So business, fortunately, has been booming. So any attempt to abuse them has backfired tremendously.
If there's one thing I know about the Staten Island community, it's that you all are tight and you have each other's backs.
So Staten Island, we have about 500,000.
Did she, as a newscaster, just say that, I know you guys are tight? Like, did that really just happen? Did that really just happen?
We're going to argue about professionalism on a news show where they're talking about Whoopi Goldberg not getting the cake she ordered.
I mean, there's like arguing about Whoopi Goldberg not getting the cake she ordered, and there's like saying that like, I know you guys are tight. Like, that's like a whole different like.
I'm sure there's a there's a car accident somewhere, maybe even outside this studio they could be talking about, or I mean, any number of other things. But no, we're going to talk about this goddamn piece of cake.
But I've seen Fox do really informative journalism about like political campaigns and being really unbiased and not shouty at all about certain topics they care about. But I would rather listen to that over fucking cake, now, to be honest.
I will tell you that if you go by the way this woman's expressions are, she is really waiting on a chance to go and probably get a piece of cake. Sitting here talking about it.
I mean, she's got to be hungry, right?
I mean, hell, it's hard to talk about sweet stuff like that without actually deciding you actually want it. I mean, we had an instance of that one earlier today. But go ahead.
Makes sense.
Once you're ready.
There's backs.
Yeah. So Staten Island, we have about 500,000 people. We have a small town feel, and we're there for each other. It's a solidarity like no other around the country. And maybe we should send a message out: don't mess with Staten Island.
There you go, from the borough president. Thank you very much for joining us. Good to have you on the program.
We went from cake to don't mess with Staten Island for like.
Conversation about what happened there, and it does appear that she sort of doubled down in that video. It could have just been I'm sorry if I incorrectly drew the conclusion, but it seems she said something just was odd.
Why in this day and age of social media would you ever fall on your sword and say, you know what, I got it wrong, I'm really sorry. I will, every birthday from now until the day I die, I will make sure that I put in my order for the Charlotte Russe cake from the fabulous Holterman's Bakery. No, you got to keep up the fight because that's the way it is these days. Nobody ever admits that they were wrong. But I think that to speak.
I mean, that isn't exactly true. I mean, look at all the social media personalities who have apologized, or, they cry a little bit, they apologize, then they do the same shit again about 6 months later, but they still apologize. I mean, they're still sorry there somewhere. I mean, they don't mean it, most of the time, but still.
I'm wrong 65% of the time, mostly.
I mean, that's like most of us. Most of us are wrong most of the time. But then again, that's why they're called opinions, and that's why it's not like a. That's not why everything that Kai says is a fact, because would be fucked if that was true. So.
Yeah. Same on your side, though. By the way, I mean, if we were both right all the time, this world would be fucked.
I agree. I know people personally who, if they were right 100% of the time, we would be literally fucked, man. But still, anyways, we got like 30 seconds.
Admits that they were wrong, but I think that to speak to Mr. Facella's view, I think the strongest statement. I mean, you could talk about litigation, but I think the strongest statement that could possibly be made is the statement that came from the Staten Island community and the way that they gathered together to support that age-old business
and lined up around the block. Amen. Yep. All right. Thanks so much.
And may they continue to be lined up around the block.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here.
Okay, there we go. I was just their bullshit thing to support that.
Did she just amen the end of the news segment?
She did.
What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
She amened the cake, man. What are you on about, man? Haven't you had like an amazing cake and like just said amen right at the end for like no apparent reason?
I know Whoopi Goldberg was in Sister Act, but come on, that was unnecessary.
You were waiting to throw in a Sister Act. I could tell. I was like, I knew it had to be there somewhere. Oh, it's so good. That was fucking painful. I'm not going to like. That's like things ago. Yeah. That was like, it was like pulling teeth, man. It was fucking ridiculous.
And that's the news. They say it right there. They claim it's news.
I mean, it happened. It's like factual, but that doesn't make it newsworthy. I would rather like talk about whichever celebrity had liposuction or breast reduction or increase or sexual scandals or anything above the shit. The shit feels like I'm watching kids.
Somebody that found out that the cake was in fact a lie. Okay.
Was it a lie, or were they too stupid to even realize that things happen in time? No, they went back like 6 months later, or 2 months later, or a month later, or it wasn't stated how long it was, so we know in between of when the oven was broken to where the oven was fixed to. Not even broken, they just replaced it because it was old. That's the only reason they replaced it, so.
Mm-hmm.
But,
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we've wasted 32 minutes of my life and your life and everybody's lives covering this, but still.
It gets worse.
Hey, what's up?
Because now I fucking want to go get some fucking cake from somewhere, god damn it.
I know. I actually feel hungry after like listening to this, to be fair. I'm not gonna lie, but still. Anyways.
Fucking. Yeah.
I know.
But
anyways.
I believe I believe that should be about it for this, because it's nothing but people not getting their cake.
Pretty much. Anyways.
That's what we consider newsworthy for 8 minutes of our lives.
That's like crazy.
Whoopi Goldberg didn't get no cake.
I mean, we have our own stories which are like very weird too, like, but like, damn, man. Whoopi Goldberg not getting that cake for some reason, but still. Anyways.
Shame of the world we live in. I wish that was the only problem we fucking had, was her and her goddamn cake.
I mean, it would be a very nice world to live in if our only problems were cake related. Like, that sounds like a good problem to have, to be honest. Anyways, I'm not going to waste any more time on this bullshit. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed. That was Kai over there giving weird topics. That was me, Makai, sitting here for some reason watching this. And yeah, have a wonderful day.
Yeah, it's never good.
No, it's not.
See y'all later.